I'm gonna laugh so much. People need to forgive me.
That
It's
sounds
so boring.
We are making fulfillment. It would be so easy peasy lemon squeezy to get clients.
We made €6 from one project.
At least there's money in the bank, just not for us.
I was crying. It was so funny. Hello. Welcome to the first episode of the Good Soup Podcast. My name is Paulina. Every Monday, Valentina and I have a catch-up call, and every single week we say, why didn't we record this? Because in 2024, we started our content marketing agency, and we had no money, no plan, and an 8-hour time difference. So things got fun and spicy, and we have funny story to share. And now you will get to join our ride. In this first episode, you will hear the background, how it all began, our lessons learned, our fails and wins. And if you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a message. We will be really happy to hear from you. Let's get into it. Set up the context first, because no one actually knows what we're doing here
Or who we are.
How and why did we start the agency?
Why did we start the agency? Back in April, because we were working together, you hired me as a freelance writer for the company we were working at previously. And then a year before that, we had toyed with the idea of freelancing and like doing our own agency, but it was never like a real thing. It was just like, haha, it would be nice to be self-employed. I don't know, one day you were just like, I have an idea, and it was like, let's hear it. I thought you were gonna fire me from the company where you worked. That's what I thought, like when you said I would like to talk to you about something, and I told my partner, great, I'm gonna get fired. I was so stressed until we talked. You were like, I think we should do a company together, and I was like, oh, okay. I did not see that coming, but sure, let's talk about it. And then you had like a whole presentation and everything, and it was like, okay, cool. And then like my immediate like knee-jerk reaction was like, let's do it. And then I was like, but wait, should I do this? Like, what's the risk here? Like, is this like why should I start my own company? Like, who does that? Like, what is this? And then I don't know, I guess you were convincing enough, and here we are.
I think your relatives convinced you, you said.
Yeah, that too. My parents were like, you have nothing to lose, so just go ahead and try. And
I agree.
I was like, that's true. I have absolutely nothing to lose.
Yeah, it was completely different from my side, because I've been cooking it even before I hired you. I knew that I will hire you because I want to start a company together. So that was the whole plan. And you were part of it, but you didn't know. No, I always thought that, like, my friend was asking me, like, who's your favorite colleague? And I was like, oh, that's Valentina. She's so cool and so smart. And I was like, that was so nice to work with her. But then you moved out, and I was like, that's it. We will never work together. And I was sad. And then I was talking with my mentor. I was already freelancing for a while. I knew that I have these two paths, basically, to keep my full-time job and freelance on the side. But I always wanted to have my own company. Like, it was always my dream. So I was like, when, if not now, you know, at some point you need to try it out. I thought that if you want to propose something to someone, then you always have to have a presentation. It doesn't matter what you put there. If you have an idea, just put it into slides. That's it. Or at least a document, because if you come to someone and you're like, oh, let's do this, and then nothing happens because you don't have anything written down.
It shows commitment to the cause.
Exactly.
Like, it's more convincing. A friend of mine did that for a trip to Mallorca. She made the slides, and she was like, let's go. And we were like, we cannot say no. Wow. There are slides. Like, this is happening now.
This is genius.
I couldn't say no. Like, with the slides, it was like, okay, Paulina is already 3 steps ahead. Like, the company is already up and running. Like, I have to just get on the train now.
So where did it bring us? Here.
It made us friends, closer. It brought me to Berlin to see you and to hang out for a whole of 10 days, I think, and not do anything but chat all day. Yap.
Oh, we came up with the idea of doing SEO.
Then it was not
We,
useless.
yeah, we did the event. That was really
Yeah.
nice. When we came up with this, I was like, oh my god, how are we gonna bring soup? Like, it just sounds so complicated, but it was actually fine. Like, once you've done something, then you're like easy.
I think that's with most things. Like you always
Mm-hmm.
imagine that it's just gonna be such a hassle and it's gonna be so hard. And then you go through it and it's like it was never as hard as I thought it was gonna be. It was
Exactly.
the same with moving from Berlin back home. Thought, oh my god, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna travel with 6 suitcases? This is insane. And then you just do it. And it's like traveling. You can have big suitcases in one hand and one small one in another, and just roll forward. It's like easy peasy. Like, no trouble. And then if you have to go down escalators, you just put one suitcase and then let it roll, then the other, and then let them all go down by themselves, and then you run after them. Like, you just find a way. You always will find a way.
That's true. That's what I'm trying to like convince myself and my brain as well, because sometimes I'm like so stressed and I'm like, oh my God, what if it doesn't work out? What if we run out of money or something? And then I'm like, everyone survived. Like all the entrepreneurs I talked to, they had struggles, but they're here, they're fine, they're happy. Nothing bad happened, it's all
There's
fine.
always a way to make it. And if there's not, we always have feet we can sell online. I feel like everyone says it, and no one has ever sold a foot pick in their life. And I feel like we probably all look at our feet and are like, this is not worth selling.
Okay, so how are you feeling now after
About
six
what?
months of running the agency?
Um,
Maybe
I
today is not a good day to ask you because you're in a bad mood.
I'm not in a bad mood. I'm never in a bad mood.
That's true.
I might be tired, but not in a bad mood. Bad mood is for suckers. The one that wakes up happy is the one that conquers it all. That's the energy I want to give forward. Happy camper. That's my mantra
That's
for
you.
2025. I want to be a happy camper and nothing else. Okay, how do I feel about running an agency 6 months in? Okay, the first thing, I feel like we learn a lot of things every week, if not every day. Um, for starters, I feel like we have realized that we suck at money and putting prices on things and managing our finances. Like, I knew I sucked at personal finance, but I didn't think it would translate as badly as it has in our business. And I thought that you would have it together with it because I feel like you're much more of a responsible adult with your own money. So I was like, sure, like we are gonna get through it. And then we both just suck at math and, and just calculating things. And then taxes, like German taxes are just insane. And then we're just left with nothing. We made no profit of our project, but at least there's money in the bank, just not for us. So that's one thing. I mean, recognizing your weaknesses, definitely a big learning. Another thing that I've learned is that outsourcing and delegating is really important because running a business, there are so many cogs in the machine that you have to take care of. And there's not just doing the work for the client, but there's also managing the relationship with the client. And then there's their self-marketing, and then there's outreaching to find new clients. And we are just two people. And then we go insane when we just do everything together, especially if we offer many different services.
Yeah.
And there are, of course, things that we just cannot do, like design. We're not designers. For the life of me, I cannot design a simple carousel. Like, it just always looks off. I don't understand, not even with a template. It just doesn't work. So outsourcing for sure, really important. And I think also, I didn't expect to make any money for a while. I also have a partner that is the founder of a startup. So I know what it's like to work for almost a year and see no money coming in. But it was also like, it's like a hard pill to swallow when you realize, yeah, like I am putting so much effort into it and I'm not seeing any financial reward. But even though that's the case, I feel more inspired to keep working. And I feel like that's the mindset shift that I have encountered, I guess, by building our own business, because I feel very motivated to keep it going and I guess the carrot dangling at the end of the stick is that prospect of not only, I mean, at some point making a salary, but also the idea of us being our own bosses and us having our own time and having our own schedule. And what we say that maybe I didn't finish something on Friday because I had to do something else, like something came up, but I could also just do it on Saturday, like, or on Sunday. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I was talking to a girl that is like, oh yeah, as long as you meet your 40 hours a week, then it's fine. It's like, I don't even need to meet 40 hours. I can make 60 or I can make 20, you know? Like, it really just depends on how efficient we're being and how much client work we actually have, how much we're managing to delegate. So yeah, a big monologue just to say that maybe there's no financial reward yet, but there's a lot of motivation to keep going and to make this sustainable and fruitful business in the years to come.
I feel so much freedom just to wake up and do whatever I actually want to do. I think that's the feeling of the, like, having an agency in terms of, like, not the agency
having
like,
agency,
yeah. That it's not someone told you to do something, but you decided to do that. And it might be the same task, but somehow you're so much more motivated and you just want to do it and you have so much more energy. And I remember feeling really drained from doing something at work, which were similar things, you know. It's not like I changed my career completely, but it was also marketing, and I always loved marketing. I always found it so much fun and creative, but somehow when someone came to me and said you should do this and that, I was just like, I don't want that. I just don't want to do that. Like, it doesn't matter what
Stop telling me what to do.
Exactly. And now I wake up and I'm like, I'm productive. I love it. And I really like this feeling that I'm my own boss. That's, I think, what I was striving for. Another thing that I really like, I think we become better marketers for our career. I think it's much better, even if we have to come back and work for a company. God forbid, but if we have to, then I think we would be on top of things. I have motivation to learn about trends and what's happening. Before that, I was always like, oh no, like, do I have to, like, not only do I have to work, but I also have to learn something? Like, why? Like, I would never listen to any podcast or read
or
anything.
The newsletters.
Newsletters, I would subscribe and I would never open it in my life. But right now, I actually have motivation because I know it will help me to grow my company. So I read everything and it doesn't feel like work. It feels like something exciting that I want to learn.
For me, it was the exact same. Like, you need to be reading all of these things and say, actually, Karen, it's been 8 hours of my day that I already spent. I am drained. I'm just going to lay on my couch and watch TikTok. Like, I don't want to keep having to do anything with this business that is just going to make the CEO richer. And I'm just going to keep making the pennies that you pay me. So, yeah, now we might not be even making pennies, but we are making fulfillment. We are finding joy.
And in terms of the calculations, it's so funny because I always wanted to have a business and I always thought no one needs math to start a business.
And then you're like, oh wow, I actually need it a lot.
Okay, you have your, like, calculators, you have machines, like, you can always do that. Like, it's not, that difficult. You can always, just find a way around. But if your brain doesn't function this way, like, you're a creative person who just tries to make a living out of your ideas, it's tough. It's really
tough.
difficult.
Like, I really thought when I graduated high school, I'm never going to need math again. I went on to study communication. I'm just going to need letters. Then I had to have fucking statistic class. And I was like, what do you mean I have to study statistics? Of course, my worst grade in my entire university degree was statistics. And I studied so hard for it. I swore I was going to get a good grade. And then I got like a 3.7. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm dumb and I cannot do numbers. I mean, I thought I had changed, but I guess there are things that never change. So I'll just stick to words. And now I'm still sticking to words, but apparently I need numbers too. And it's like, the math is not mathing clearly. I don't know if it ever will.
But that's also an interesting learning maybe for someone who is looking for a business partner, that they might not, they
No,
might be like really compatible in many ways, but also they need someone who can calculate things.
so don't partner with the person you like. Partner with the person that can do business.
But apparently we need that, so that's our 25 goal.
Get better at math, at managing money, at pricing.
What are our wins?
Our wins. That we have fun working together. I would count that as a win.
That's a win.
I think not everyone has fun working, period.
No. Most people in Berlin, they open a company by themselves. And I don't understand why they do that. Like, why would anyone want that?
That
It's
sounds
so boring.
I tried doing that, it didn't flow.
I don't know how they do that. How did they stay motivated? Like, how do they get ideas? Like, I would be all over the place because every day I'm like, I have a new idea and I'm like, oh, maybe we should do that. And then I'm like, no, wait, we have a strategy. Just follow the strategy. I would change the website every day. Like, literally, I would change everything. I would just wake up and be like, let's do this today. And it is just not efficient. Like, that's not how it
Yeah.
should be. Like, you should really follow what you decided to do. So
Yeah.
that
I mean, it
helps
could
me.
drive results too, but I think it can get messy. It can get you
Yeah.
will lack accountability unless you're one of those machine type of people that needs no one and can just laser focus.
Mhm.
And I think also it's just nice to share. Like I think if I
Exactly.
still lived in Berlin, it would even be better because we could
Yeah.
be co-working on the same space. Another win. I mean, we are closing the year with a few bucks in the bank, so that's good. Even if it hasn't hit our personal banks, it's there. So I count that as a win. We got clients, so that's good, and it was also a win. We didn't get as many clients as we had planned. I don't know what we were thinking that it would. I think we just thought it would be so easy peasy lemon squeezy to get clients, 2 clients a month. That's not how it's rolling right now. I hope it will get better, but no, I don't hope it will get better. Manifesting.
I think it's good that we both of our clients we got on a retainer.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that's a big win because most people I think they start with like one-off projects and then the project ends and that's it. And
Yeah.
it's sad when your client leaves as well, but at least like you had some relationship, you had like you worked for a long period of time, you can make a case study out of it. So I think we're really lucky with both of our clients.
Yeah, for sure. The retainer part, like I see a lot of people, freelancers that struggle a lot with getting retainers and moving out of one-off projects. So that's also definitely a win. I also think our brand is a win. I just love it. I am so happy that we chose the name that we chose and that we got this great branding work by Anaga. And yeah, I think it's fun. Also that you pushed for the pictures. I think the pictures are fun and that they bring life to our website. So doing those things, I think, was also a win.
I also agree that I'm happy with our name, our website. I'm happy that we found a lot of really cool people to work with.
Sure.
You found most of them somehow, I don't know, magically. They just appeared. I was drawn in my part-time jobs and you just made it work somehow and you organized it. You found a lot of freelancers who did everything and that was amazing. I love it. I think it's nice that we found a niche and that we could agree on it and that we still got 2 clients that are completely different so we can see now what we like to do, what works better, what we enjoy doing, and it will be so much easier for us to plan next year because we actually have the data, because before that we were just completely blindly trying to guess like what's gonna happen. We're like, oh,
Yeah.
maybe this, maybe that, and now we know for sure that we have this case, we can actually sell projects, we know how much we can earn, we know that companies do hire people and they do pay, so that's nice. But we also have a lot of learnings and a lot of things that we will share next time, what we don't recommend doing. A lot of
Definitely.
mistakes. We had so much fun making these mistakes. Like we never blamed each other or like we never argued. We just laughed so much. Like once I thought I'm gonna die. When we calculated that we made €6 from one project, I honestly I had like I was crying. It was so funny.
That's the thing. That's something I learned from my grandma. You just have to laugh at all the stupid shit that you do or all the fuck ups that happen to you. Because if you sit there and cry about it, what nothing's gonna change. The fuck up is still there. You
Exactly.
cannot improve it. You can change it for next time, but the way you deal with that fuck up in the moment is gonna make all the difference. And yeah, I do think that laughing things off is what we can do best.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of stories to tell, which we are going to tell on every episode, I guess now. And since something happens every week, we will never run out of ideas of what to talk about.
Yeah.
So we hope that you, our listeners, will come with us on this journey. And yeah, share your stories as well. That would be so interesting to listen to. Like, I love meeting with other freelancers and talk about things, and everyone has the same problems. And it turns out that not only us, but everyone else makes the same mistakes and do the same fuck ups. And then you're like, okay, that feels good.
Yeah. And if we all talk about them openly, then at least
Yeah,
the next person might be able to not go through those mistakes and do
exactly.
something a little better than we did. But yeah, also if you just want to listen to two people laughing and talking shit for a bit of time in the background, then that can be us for you.
Yes. Yeah, and I think for us, it's really nice reflections on things. Like we will just talk through things that maybe we are worried about and we maybe don't have time to talk about, space for us to talk, because I think my boyfriend is already tired to listen to all of my stories.
Same. Mine has enough with his own startup for me to be like, let's up here, let's up there, Paulina's at this, and we did that. It's like, okay, can we talk about something else?
Yeah, exactly. That's why we need that podcast so that we can
Vent.
share it with everyone. What else did I want to say? I forgot. Oh, you know what we're gonna do every episode? We're gonna read tarot cards. What
Wait.
is the. We need a question, right?
Yeah, I need a
Okay.
question, so I'll let you ask the question.
So the question is what 2025 will bring us?
Okay, I hope something fell. Oh, it doesn't look good.
Oh no.
Three of Swords. I know this one is a bad one. This one is sadness and pain. You know what? Maybe we can throw it again. This is not what we want for 2025, for
I
sure.
mean, if you're in Berlin, that's what you get.
This one is about hanging on and fear of letting go. Let me just read it out, but I think we
Yes.
should ignore and get a new card.
Yeah.
Coping with feelings of sadness around your career, possibly due to a job loss or disappointing news. This card may also represent arguments with coworkers. Facing a sad truth in the workplace can be uncomfortable, but you must process the loss and allow yourself to heal if you want to move forward in any direction. This, maybe, could have to do with one of our clients.
Yes.
I'm not going to
Could
say more
be.
on that. But it doesn't have to mean that La Sopa is going to suffer and disappear. And then the reversed tower. So I'm just going to show you that normal tower. This can indicate the effects of avoid what is happening, clinging to an old way of being, or doing things instead of facing inevitable change. The tower wants you to know that it is safe to accept what is happening, even if it feels uncomfortable, and that you should trust you are being led where you're meant to go. So they are actually connected. They're both about a new direction, a change that might hurt, but that you have to deal with, and you have to trust that it's going to bring you in the right direction. So I guess it's just to keep in mind. I mean, it doesn't have to be with one of the clients that we have, but maybe we get a client and then things don't work out with that client, and just trusting the process and not fearing, letting go of that fear of letting go.
Change. Yeah, like everything is changing so much all the time, and it's really tough because you just came up with this idea, and it's really tough to let it go sometimes, and you want to keep growing it, but then you have to realize at some point, like, yeah, it doesn't work, we need to change something. And
Exactly.
I think we're good at it, actually.
Yeah, I think we're adaptable, and it also doesn't have to be a client. Sorry, it could also just be an offering that maybe we were holding on to, and we might have to change it. It could be our website that we were happy with the way it looked, and we have to change it. Like, I think it just points to all kinds of change and all kinds of unexpected situations that might arise, and how we deal with them.
All right. I think it went super well. Thank you so much for answering all of my questions. Thank you so much for joining this episode. Next time we are bringing you the best, the most amazing guest, so you will not only hear us laughing, but you will actually learn something useful for your career. See you soon.